Hi again, everyone. This video is sponsored by contribution from Anonymous, and here's her story. This is a follow-up story about my 2-year marriage to a narcissist who abandoned 3 wives. I was his 3rd wife, and his 2 sons we know about. Members of the community have speculated that he may have had other children he abandoned as well. Who knows? I haven't had contact with him except once in 13 years, so he could have had other kids by now. Anyway, I wonder if anyone else has discovered a secret life of their narcissistic partner and can relate to this story. Even if they haven't yet, it may be something to investigate. Secrecy is one of the narc's favorite hobbies, varying in extreme from a lively fantasy world to a full-fledged double life with sources who are totally unaware of each other. Some even have 2 families and bigamous marriages. I think the reason narcs are so sensitive, is so secretive, is because they have to maintain a false facade at all times and don't want any of their previous sources or family to meet their current source. If they do, the gig is up. God help them if you compare notes with their exes or their former sources. Luckily for us, they are sometimes really sloppy and leave a big trail, especially now with all the technology, email, smartphones, message boards, GPS history, web history, etc. They think they are smarter than you, so they tend to leave a lot of evidence. My advice is, naturally, if you can't trust your partner, get out. I don't recommend becoming a sleuth unless you have a perverse level of curiosity like I did. Spare yourself the grief and break up with anyone you can't trust with your purse, your pet, your children, or your body. If, like me, you want to catch them red-handed to get some sort of victory, it may not be worth it. You may just set yourself up for more pain and possibly a reaction from your narc that may be dangerous. And she's right on that, because a narcissist can turn any situation around. So you catch your narc in something and then they're able to turn it around on you. It's even worse. If you already can't trust them, what are you doing? When I discovered my narc's secret life, I kept most of it to myself. I only confronted him about the real life infidelity, but not his weird fantasy life that he documented like a demented biographer. When my narc lost his 7th, 8th job, I quit counting. He started going to the library every few days to do research on starting a home business or looking for work, so he said. I didn't pay much attention to it, since I was working and taking care of the kids. One day I was on my computer, which he shared with me, and I saw a file on the desktop that said employment. I figured it was his resume and other information that he was compiling. I decided to open up that file and see where he was applying and what he was researching. The documents in there had nothing to do with employment. Inside was a fantasy autobiography of a parallel life, including a pretend portfolio of stocks he bought, wealth he accumulated, exotic vacations he took, wives he married and lost, and imaginary children he sent to expensive boarding schools. Really bizarre, hilarious, and scary all at once. To summarize for this story, he pretended to be a graduate of Rice University in Houston, married his high school sweetheart, who has a daughter with him, and then dies of breast cancer at the age of 25. Since he's a millionaire, because he bought stock in Microsoft at the New York Yankees, he donates millions of dollars to what is now known as MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston. He then meets wife number 2 in Mardi Gras in New Orleans, and he actually did meet a girlfriend that way, and they fall in love at first sight, jet off to Italy and get married like in The Godfather by an Italian priest. They have a son and spend 4 blissful years together until she's killed in a car accident by a drunk driver. Both imaginary children go to an imaginary boarding school in Europe while he mourns. He meets wife number 3 after a pretend mourning period of 5 years, who's a doctor in a free clinic. This time he doesn't even keep her around after she has an imaginary baby boy and dies in childbirth. Meanwhile, he's racking up the wealth and amazing stock purchases, real estate, philanthropic pursuits, and sits on the board of directors of major companies in Houston. Needless to say, the story made me a little nervous since we had a baby boy together only a year before I found this. The funny thing was, in real life, he couldn't keep a job, couldn't make a marriage work, couldn't accumulate any wealth, and never had a pot to piss in. I didn't tell him I found that file, but I wasn't sure what he would do because I wasn't sure what he would do. He also had a bunch of personal ads and chat girls with whom he communicated in inappropriate ways while we were married. We did confront him with that, and when I printed out the evidence, he lit the papers on fire on the dining room table. I had to carry the burning mess into the kitchen sink to put it out. Ollie, what's your experience with the narc's secret life? I think it's probably a common thing. Do you recommend confrontation or just getting the hell out? Thanks for all that you do. You have an amazing channel, and I think it's genius. Yeah, the whole double life thing is something a narcissist would do because, I mean, that is the ultimate form of lying, of calculated lying to keep that thing up. But this isn't a double life thing that your husband or your husband or your ex is living. It sort of is. This is how he keeps his story straight when he tries to pick up women. He just writes it down, and once you write it down, it's more committed to memory. That's all he's doing. It's his Bible. That's what you found. You found the narcissist Bible. So he can go back and he can read his scriptures of his fabricated life. This is for when he picks up new women, new conquests. This isn't for you. This is for him to keep his story straight with other women. What you found here is the narcissist Bible. They will journal. Virginia journaled. She wrote everything down. It's this grandiosity they have, wanting to leave something behind, they want to say it. It's like Tom Cruise in A Few Good Men when they were saying he was going to go after Nicholson, Jessup. And he said he wants to tell us. He wants to say it. The narcissist wants to tell you, wants to say it, wants credit for their manipulation. That's why they do it. That's why they get so much. They get off on it. That's why they got to keep manipulating. Because in their mind, I don't think they ever get the acknowledgement they really want, because they can never really say to you, ha ha, yeah, you're right, and nobody's ever going to. They don't get that. They don't get to do that. So I think that's what might torture them a little bit. What you found here is the narcissist Bible for picking up women, so he can keep his story straight for any new meat he's trying to bring in. And no, I don't. You find something like that, what's the point? Like if you're married to the guy and you're like, yeah, I found your playbook here. But what's the difference? Make sure you have a copy of it, because they're going to burn it, rip it up, throw it out, act like it doesn't exist. So if you do have something you're going to confront the narcissist with, make sure you have a copy of your own, okay? Because they're going to burn it, break it, throw it, get rid of it, try to make like it doesn't exist. This is the way it is. So thank you for your contribution and your story. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, or a narcissist you'd like to expose, you know what to do with the PayPal and my email link in the description box. I'll have a video right back to you. This is Ollie Matthews. Thanks for watching. See you all again soon. Bye.